When someone truly loves you, being with you isn't a chore, it's something they look forward to. They seek you out, not just when it's convenient, but because your presence matters to them. But when your partner constantly claims to be busy, always tied up with work, friends, or vague obligations, it's not always about their schedule, it's about priority. Everyone has responsibilities, but love finds time. If they frequently cancel plans, delay responses, or seem emotionally distant when you finally get a moment together, it's worth paying attention. It might feel like you're constantly chasing them, trying to fit into a space they never made for you. And while it's easy to justify their absence with empathy, telling yourself they're stressed or overwhelmed, the truth often lives in the pattern. Someone who genuinely wants to be in your life makes the effort, no matter how chaotic things are. But someone who's emotionally checked out will avoid connection, hiding behind busyness as a mask for their detachment. Over time, this creates an emotional imbalance, where you're giving more than you're receiving. If you're constantly waiting for them to find time, you need to ask yourself if they're really that busy, or just not that invested. Physical connection can feel powerful, even intoxicating. It can create the illusion of closeness, making you believe that the bond you share is strong. But love isn't proven in moments of desire, it's revealed in the quiet, emotional spaces in between. When your partner only shows up when they want something physical, and disappears when emotional support is needed, it sends a clear message: their interest might be skin deep. True intimacy means being seen, understood, and supported on a deeper level. It's about the late-night talks, the check-ins after a bad day, the willingness to sit in silence when words fail. If your partner doesn't ask about your mental state, your fears, your hopes, or your dreams, if they never open up about their own inner world, then the relationship becomes one-dimensional. You start to feel more like an object than a partner. And while it's easy to mistake passion for love, the absence of emotional presence always reveals the truth. Love wants to know you, not just touch you. If the emotional connection is missing, no amount of physical closeness will ever fill that void. It will only leave you feeling emptier every time the moment ends and the silence returns. Compliments may seem small, but they carry weight in a relationship. They're not just about flattery, they're about acknowledgement. When someone notices your effort, your appearance, your growth, or even the subtle things you think go unseen, it creates emotional intimacy. It makes you feel valued, seen, and appreciated. But when your partner rarely, if ever, compliments you, a quiet distance begins to form. You might start to question your worth, wondering if they even notice you anymore. It's not that love needs to be constantly verbalized, but in a healthy relationship, appreciation is expressed, consistently and sincerely. Some partners may claim they're just not expressive, but a total absence of positive feedback often signals emotional detachment. It shows they're no longer paying attention, or worse, no longer care enough to speak it. On the flip side, compliments can also be used manipulatively, given only when they want something or to keep you emotionally attached. That's why consistency and sincerity matter more than grand gestures. When love is real, it's not silent. It shows up in the way someone speaks to you, supports you, and makes you feel important without needing a reason. If you feel unseen, it may be because they've stopped looking. A healthy relationship is built on mutual support, not emotional dependency. It's natural to lean on your partner during hard times, just as they should lean on you. But there's a dangerous imbalance when one person constantly makes the other feel like they need them to function, yet offers little real support in return. If your partner makes you feel like you can't make decisions, solve problems, or find stability without their presence, that's not love, that's control. It's a subtle form of manipulation, where they position themselves as the one you must rely on, while rarely being emotionally available when you need them most. This dynamic creates anxiety and self-doubt, making you question your strength and independence. Over time, you might find yourself apologizing for needing comfort, or suppressing your emotions just to avoid seeming too much. True love empowers, it doesn't weaken you. It's there when you fall, but it also reminds you of your ability to stand. If your partner only shows up when it benefits them, but disappears when you're struggling, their love isn't real. It's transactional. You deserve a connection where support flows both ways, not one where your vulnerability becomes a tool for someone else's control or convenience. Communication is the lifeline of any real connection. When someone loves you, they naturally want to reach out, not because they need something, but because they want to hear your voice, know how you're doing, and feel close to you even when you're apart. But when the only time your partner contacts you is when they need a favor, help, attention, or comfort, that's not love, that's self-interest. It can feel deeply one-sided, like you're more of a resource than a partner. You find yourself constantly initiating conversations, checking in, asking how they are, while they only respond or engage when it suits their needs. It creates a silent, painful realization: they don't miss you, they use you. Love is shown in effort, in presence, and in the small, everyday moments of genuine care. If you're always the one sending the first text, making the call, or trying to keep the connection alive, you'll eventually start to feel like a burden instead of a priority. Real love doesn't make you beg for attention. It seeks connection without reason. And if someone can go days without wondering how you are, unless they need something, you need to question whether their love is real, or simply convenient. Sometimes the most painful truth is that your partner doesn't love you, but they won't leave either. Not because they see a future with you, but because they're afraid of being alone. They stay in the relationship out of comfort, routine, or fear, not commitment. And that's a dangerous place to be. You begin to sense that their heart isn't fully in it. They're distant, avoidant, and emotionally checked out. When conflict arises, they don't fight to fix things, they shut down or withdraw. They may talk about breaking up but never follow through, clinging to the safety of what's familiar while depriving both of you of genuine connection. You start to wonder if they ever loved you, or if they've simply grown used to your presence. Real love involves courage, the courage to grow together or, if necessary, to walk away with honesty. If your partner lacks the will to nurture the relationship yet stays because it's easier than starting over, that's not love. That's fear disguised as loyalty. And staying with someone who fears loneliness more than they value your heart will only drain your spirit. You deserve someone who chooses you fully, not someone who settles for you because they're afraid of the silence. Love without effort is love in name only. When someone truly cares about you, they show it, not just in big moments, but in the small, daily acts of attention, respect, and presence. If your partner has stopped trying, stopped listening, stopped showing up, stopped investing in your emotional well-being, it's not a phase. It's a sign. A person who loves you pays attention to what makes you smile, what stresses you out, what helps you feel safe. They don't have to be perfect, but they try. But when there's no effort, no empathy, and no respect, you're not in a relationship, you're in an emotional desert. Maybe they interrupt you when you speak, ignore your feelings, make choices without considering how they affect you, or constantly put their own needs first. That kind of behavior chips away at your self-worth, slowly convincing you that expecting more is unreasonable. But it's not. You're not asking for too much, you're just asking the wrong person. If they can't celebrate your highs, sit with you in your lows, or treat your heart with care, then they don't love you the way you deserve to be loved. Real love doesn't abandon you emotionally. It shows up. It commits. It makes the effort.